Living with Hypocrisy. That's the name of this film, and that's the truth with where we stand today, not just on this island, but all over the world. I love the nature and I love the environment, but still I ride my bike. We drive our cars and we use our plastic waste and leave it everywhere. The results can only last for so long before our children start to suffer the consequences of our hypocrisy. Beautiful Sardinia has been here for hundreds of years. Unfortunately, the rubbish that's now sitting on it is less than a second in real time for Mother Earth. We have to do something, and our time for working out options is very limited. We need help from governments, from people, from everybody that can get involved. Let's start with the landfill.
This is just a start, because as you know, it's dangerous, so we have to put it separate from the other garbage.
But what do you think will happen with these, Randy? Have you got a plan for these yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
No.
So
but
just holding them at the moment.
We just want to put them separately from the other waste.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Well, a long time ago, came a man on a track, walking 30 miles with a sack on his back, and he put down his load where he thought it
Sorobon is responsible for keeping the island clean, and they do a fantastic job. These are some of the cleanest streets you'll see in any Caribbean island. However, when it comes to the technology of disposing of chemical waste, it's not their fault, but there's a certain amount lacking. You may notice the water in these barrels that now also contain batteries. This makes it a toxic waste, and we have to do something with it. And once again, we see a great effort actually shooting us in our own feet.
Then came the schools, then came the lawyers, then came the roads, then came the trains and the trucks with their load, and the dirty old track was the telegraph road.
En op dit moment is de kleine zuivering, laat ik het dan zo noemen, is operatief. Daar komen met trucks, komt daar dagelijks een x-kuub afvalwater komt daar naar binnen. En dat wordt gereinigd, dat wordt redelijk schoon teruggereinigd. En dat afvalwater, dat gereinigde afvalwater, komt nu in een greppel bij LVV terecht. Dus een verbeterde situatie op de oude situatie. En momenteel zijn we dus bezig om de faciliteiten neer te zetten, zodat we dat afvalwater ook kunnen gaan gebruiken voor duurzame landbouw.
BICEPS was one of the first organisations, even before its inception, to point out the problems and the results if we don't take care of our wastewater. Now we have a huge wastewater system which is with the best of intention and cost a lot of money. However, it hasn't stopped us dumping toxic water straight onto the land, and this means it's leaching, and that's why we need BICEPS. Somebody has to stop this hypocrisy, and as fast as we can. Sorobon is doing the best it can. It's providing facilities for us to put our waste oil into proper containers so that it can be properly handled. However, they still have to rely on us, the public, not to be hypocrites and to actually take that oil there and dispose of it there. Otherwise, they don't stand a chance. Bond recycling is one of the most exciting things I've seen happen in the last decade here on this island. A private initiative, not done by the government and not done with any kind of subsidising, the guys have managed to pull together some semblance of order. Of course, there are shortcomings, and of course there's a lot of ground to cover. We have to stop burning, and we have to stop relying on companies to pick up where we should be doing the actual good deed. If the people don't bring the commodities to the bond recycling, and if they don't help, then it makes it very difficult for them. But it is a good start, and it's a good foundation for us to grow, that our children don't have to suffer again with our hypocrisy.
We have right now a brand new baler coming from China. They're supposed to be getting much more cardboard. Yeah. The rough calculation, about 40% of the total cardboard on the island get here with us. 60% still goes to the landfill, and that's not the idea. We need at least 80%.
Right, but you guys have only been working since when?
Since actually August 2011.
Yeah, so I mean you've already come a long way.
Yeah. We exported like 20 40-foot containers with each 48 bales, so 23 tons of cardboard. Most of all, we are all Bonaireans. We were born here. I was born and raised here. And besides making money, it's also, we have our heart for our own island.
Is that extra kick if you can help the island?
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, I grew up in the most beautiful underwater park of the world, and I don't want to see it go away. I want my kids to also see it. I mean, I've been all over the place. You'd never see corals or reefs like this.
I used to like to go to work, but they shut it down. I got a right to go to work, but there's no work here to be found. Yes, and they say.
En een van de dingen die wij hebben gedaan is een onderzoek onder 400 huishoudens op Bonaire om te kijken hoe zij natuur waarderen. En wat daaruit komt en wat wij zien is dat de waarde van natuur voor de mensen op Bonaire erg belangrijk is. Zij hebben een hoge waarde voor een gezond koraalrif. Zij vangen ook veel vis. Ongeveer 30% van de bevolking van Bonaire vangt vis. Maar desondanks zien wij dat de waarde die zij hebben voor meer vis in de oceaan lager is dan de waarde die ze hebben voor een gezond koraalrif. En wij hebben daar nog geen conclusies voor, maar wij denken dus dat de bevolking van Bonaire zich zeer bewust is van de belangrijke bijdrage van het koraalrif aan de economie van Bonaire.
It's not a question of whether there's a value to coral. Coral is invaluable. It's a part of a natural growing organism, one of the largest in the world known to man. And unfortunately, our ignorance and just the fact that we didn't care enough is already having a massive effect on what is one of the most pristine islands in the Caribbean, Bonaire. It's not enough to put up $35 million wastewater projects. It's not enough to have bond recycling. It's not enough to have governments that say the right things. We need to take the right action, and that would be to immediately stop dumping wastewater on our ground and to clean up those toxic sites before we lose any more coral. After 13 years on this island, its beauty never ceases to amaze me, and every time I drive along this coast road, I'm filled with the excitement. The birds, the wildlife, the ocean, everything has so much value. It's just a part of our soul, not a part of our lives. What seems today to be a peaceful environment with birds flying around and the ocean slapping against the shore, unfortunately lets us forget how quickly the fire enveloped all of this area, the pollution that went along our shoreline that we still don't know the results of to this very day. And as we look at Gotemir, one of the most pristine areas, I'm absolutely amazed. I could be 300, 400 years in the past and looking at the same landscape, yet all too quickly we're changing it without even seeing the visible evidence. Today, this beautiful landscape still reflects what Bonaire has to offer. It also shows us how negligent we can be for short-term advantage. Hypocrisy is okay to live with, but it must be an hypocrisy that gives us a value back. And if we lose this beautiful heritage for what we need today and we don't have anything for tomorrow, then we've taken it too far. What is BICEPS doing? BICEPS is trying to keep everybody in check. It's our job to make sure that the governments don't forget it's the people that count. It's the social life and the well-being of our people that count. It's our health and the health of our environment. We'll carry on working towards that cause as long as we can. There's no need for me to stop here, because this is a typical example of hypocrisy exceeding the value. Once again, we see a short-term gain for a long-term cost. We've polluted the groundwater, we've taken away the landscape that was there, and now there is no fish farm, and all we're left with is the memory of how hypocrisy doesn't work.